So here we go, terrific atmosphere, I must say, here in the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And what a reception for Barcelona and Napoli. Barca start the La Liga campaign on Friday week, an early start for them. Away to Athletic Bilbao, that's not an easy fixture. The favourites, of course, in Spain nonetheless, as they seek a third straight La Liga title in 2019-20. Napoli still with a fortnight to go before Serie A opens, but they know they must be ready. Their first three games could not be stiffer. Fiorentina away, Juventus at home, and Sampdoria away. A very demanding run right out of the gate. But wins in pre-season for Napoli over Marseille and Liverpool, very encouraging. Mighty club names, but they've hardly ever met in a competitive European fixture. This is one to savour, therefore. La Liga and Serie A working together here to try to promote the brands and, of course, provide the excitement as both build up to the new campaign. First stop Miami, then on we go to Ann Arbor, Michigan for the return. Famous home of the Miami Dolphins here on Don Shula Drive in North Miami. One of the all-time great NFL coaches remembered. Insigne captains Napoli here this evening. Sergio Busquets for Barca. Barca's new look strip for 2019-20. Kind of deference and homage to Rakitic, perhaps, the touch of the Croatian polka dot jersey there.
I was thinking more checkered, Paul.
So here we go then. This is how Barcelona intend to start tonight for Valverde. Neto, newly signed from Valencia, in goal. He started also against Arsenal there. Junior Firpo, who's arrived from Real Betis, makes his Barcelona bow here. Ricky Puig and Carlos Perez keep their places with Luis Suarez and the aforementioned Antoine Griezmann starting together. Leo Messi not risked. And how about this for an all-star cast on the subs bench, including Ter Stegen, Frenkie de Jong from Ajax, Longley, Jordi Alba, Piqué, Vidal and Artur, to name only a few. You cannot get all that lot on a Champions League bench either. And here's how Napoli under Ancelotti start this evening, unveiling their three major summer signings. Giovanni Di Lorenzo, the youngster. Kostas Manolas cost 36 million when he was brought in from Roma. And Eljif Elmas, the young midfielder, just 19 years of age. Up front, though, a more familiar look. Callejon, Insigne and Mertens. They can be magic on their good nights. Formidable trio. Mertens 16 Serie A goals last season. And Arkadiusz Milik and Simone Verdi are on the bench for Ancelotti. Kalidou Koulibaly, the main defensive pillar, incidentally, still on extended leave after the Africa Cup of Nations. Ted Unkel is in charge. Neto didn't convince completely, I must say. First night against Arsenal, beaten by a fine Aubameyang strike in the first half. Needs to do a little better here. And it is Alex Meret, certainly not first choice, at the other end, facing him as we start. Strong in the goalkeeping department. Napoli. So Mertens gets the ball rolling for Napoli. And here we go. Barcelona creating a real sensation here in Miami. They played here in 2011 and again in 2017 when they beat Real Madrid. In the case already. A bit of deflation in the atmosphere. Hopefully only temporary. Anyway, on we go. Here in the Hard Rock Stadium, the Rolling Stones set to play here on August the 31st. They never get old and they never get tired, and the same is true of Jerry Armstrong. Welcome, Jerry.
Really looking forward to watching Barcelona ahead of their opening game away to Bilbao the following week. I think it's a Friday night kickoff, which is unusual. Barcelona don't like playing on a Friday night, but a lot of the big names aren't playing tonight. There's 3 or 4 young would-be starlets in this Barcelona lineup, and I suppose Ernesto Valverde has to look and see what sort of squad he's got, and that's the best way to find out, by putting them in the first team. Here's Umtiti.
Unlike him to take a risk.
I do like watching. He's got a great left foot. He's a big lad. He's comfortable on the ball, and he's got better every year. I've watched him at Barcelona.
Well, it's a lot of money for this fellow, isn't it, Jerry? Arriving from Roma Manolas. Yes. You know, he's had his moments, famous moments actually, at Roma in the Champions League, but still 36 million.
Yep, for a Greek international, you know, and I have obviously a lot of faith in him. I have to say, I love Carlo Ancelotti as a manager. I think he's a fabulous manager. He's done great jobs wherever he went, at Real Madrid, at Chelsea. You know, he's done fantastic, and one of the better managers in the world football.
Scarcely believable record of winning major trophies, of course. And now the job back home in Italy is to try to get closer to Juventus if he can. Easier said than done, of course.
Absolutely.
Di Lorenzo. He's kept it simple and gave it to Fabian Ruiz. Really got 2 ways of playing up front, Napoli, haven't they, Jerry, with the likes of Milik, who's an out-and-out target man, but time and again in recent years, Callejon, Insigne and Mertens, when they're on song, their movement is a different class. And could be a test for Barcelona tonight, I think.
Oh, it will be, especially in the first half when you've got inexperienced players in the park. But as I say, we need to find out. Jose Callejon is one of those players. Technically, he's very good, but this Barcelona side should know him very, very well, you know. And I have to say, Dries Mertens is just a natural goal scorer. He's got a low centre of gravity. He'll get inside the 2 big centre halves and try and cause a few problems. But you've got a target man alongside him, Fabian Ruiz, ex-Real Betis and Elche.
There's Moussa Wagué of Senegal. Played only a bit part during the the Africa Cup of Nations. Koulibaly, very much the senior defensive pillar for his country, for Napoli, and of course he will be back. Well, that is, unless he's moved on before the transfer window comes. So many clubs want to buy him, but Napoli hope to keep him. And here the front 3 start to move.
Oh, that's very opportunistic. I think he was going for goal. He saw the goalkeeper nets off his line slightly, and Mertens decides to have a crack at goal. He has a look up, and the idea was good, but didn't really hit the target.
On the other hand, Jerry, it is pre-season, and when you've got, what, 16, 18 and 28 Serie A goals in the last 3 seasons, you're probably entitled to have one of them.
No, he's class, and he sees things that other strikers don't. That's why I was singing his praises. I do feel that he's the type of player with a target man that if the surface is good, he'll score you goals, and he's proven that in the last 3 seasons. Getting on now, what is he, 32?
Yes.
32, but interesting looking at the young backs. There's very little experience here with the Senegalese, Moussa Wagué, and you've got Ricky Puig, the 19-year-old in front of him, you know, so there's a lot of inexperience there. The left back, Junior Firpo, has only played twice, and of course on the the other wing, the Carlos Perez, is on the left-hand side, but he's a right-footed playing on the left wing, so he's going to be cutting inside to shoot a goal. And again, he's only 21 years old, under 17 Spanish international. So, you know, give credit to Ernesto Valverde for giving these youngsters a chance to show what they can do.
The senior statesman in midfield, Rakitic and Sergio Busquets.
He's one of the real box-to-box midfield players, and he always produces half a dozen goals every season, and they're usually spectacular, Paul.
Spectacular concept this, I must say, and the crowd have really bought into it here in Miami, Jerry. La Liga and Serie A working together to promote their wares. Good idea.
Absolutely. You know, and two of the bigger teams as well to showcase this game here in Miami. There he is, Ernesto. He'll be looking forward to Friday week, going back to his old club, Athletic Bilbao. He won their first trophy there, the Super Cup, about 3 seasons ago, just before he joined Barcelona. And that was their first trophy for over 30 years.
But only at Barcelona can there be a question mark over a manager who in his first 2 seasons, one of the very biggest clubs in the world, produces back-to-back La Liga titles. And still they say, well, can't get the Champions League capitulations out of our minds, and understandably so.
Well, they've only ever won the treble once, you know, and that was quite a few years ago when they had an incredible team. But they expect to win the treble every year, and they got beaten in the Copa del Rey final. They've won the Copa del Rey more than any other club in Spanish football. Real Madrid, I think, have been beaten more times than any other club in Spanish football. And Athletic Bilbao, funny enough, are the second team to have the best record in the Copa del Rey. But there's 3 teams who have never been relegated from La Liga, and it's Barcelona, Real Madrid and Athletic Bilbao. Always a pressure on. And I listened to Piqué doing his conference earlier, Paul, and Piqué was saying that, you know, we're expected to win the treble every year, but we've won 8 out of the last 11 league titles, which is incredible.
Insigne a little slow to get to the pace of this game, perhaps. Not so Griezmann. Breaks through the first line. And very steadily defended by young Di Lorenzo in that right back position. Barcelona threatening for the first time.
Well, brilliant play from Griezmann. Lovely little 1-2. He wanted in front of Rakitic and keeps going. He's pacey. Lovely service through there. Bit disappointing with the final ball coming in from Junior Firpo, who pushed on, and he likes to push on. He's not really a left back, he's a left wing back, Junior Firpo.
The move forward was better than the ball he tried to play, I think.
Yes.
Anyway, first corner for Barca to be taken by Rakitic. All the way to the back post, and that's one of the trademarks of Suarez. Second one, Griezmann had more time than Suarez.
Well, 2 chances. Well, not great chances, but half chances. Suarez, I'm surprised he's got that amount of space. Defensively, that's poor from Napoli, but he hits the ball into the ground. It falls kindly to Antoine Griezmann, and on his favourite left foot, you expect him to hit the target, and he misses it by quite a bit.
Just feeling his way in, of course, as he did against Arsenal in Camp Nou on Sunday.
I do like him, he's a good player, and it'll be interesting to see how this front 3 combined with Antoine Griezmann, Lionel Messi and obviously Suarez.
Here's Elmas. What a night for him facing Barcelona, the youngster from North Macedonia, just 19. Did well at Fenerbahce, that's how he came to the attention of Napoli. Kept it nice and tidy early on. Mario Rui just eluded Busquets. Fabian Ruiz tried to trick him once more. Bit sloppy by Busquets. Elmas again. I've heard good things about Elmas, Jerry, and he's started well tonight. Here's Fabian Ruiz. Again, he switches rather than hits it first time. Neto didn't catch it cleanly, but parried it down safely.
Well, it was well within his reach, and he was quite nonchalant in the save in the end, Paul. But this is decent build-up. He looks offside to me. He is offside.
I think you're right, Jerry. That's
the reason why.
We haven't got long enough to give you the full list of trophies won by that man. Might get the opportunity as the night goes on here. An esteemed figure in world football.
You can see why players want to play for him, Paul. He is top man.
I don't know, it's a debating point really for when we sat down over a coffee or something like that, Jerry, but you know, you take Johan Cruyff and Carlo Ancelotti, different players of course,
yes.
And I'm not saying Ancelotti was Cruyff as the player, but he had almost as much success as a player as Cruyff, yes. And the two of them stand out from virtually any other manager in history.
Yes, no, listen, it doesn't matter what club it is, and you never know, he might try his luck over here in the MLS at some stage.
Griezmann on the half turn, out again as far as Puig. Then he deferred to Busquets, really. That was a case of a younger boy getting out of the way for the senior man.
Yeah, he started slowly though, Busquets a bit sluggish, and this is why you need these games. You need lots of practice games in the early stages of pre-season to get up to speed.
Rakitic with room. Suarez made the forward move and Griezmann dropping short onto it. That's what he's so good at, and he found the range that time. Sharp piece of work by Meret.
Well, he's hit it fairly well, but you know, you don't expect the goalkeeper to get beaten from that range, and Meret deservedly made the save. We expected him to make the save.
Feather in his cap really to get the starting job in goal here, Meret. It's a three-way fight for the jersey at Napoli between Ospina, Karnezis, who played plenty of the games at the end of last season, and Meret.
Well, a lot of the players playing tonight are playing because it's not a proper game, it's a friendly game as such, and that's why Neto's at the back. He will definitely not start in front of Ter Stegen. There's a lot of quality players on the bench for Barcelona, but it's good to see what they've got in the squad, and the more practice they get, the more games they get under their belt playing in the first team, the better it is for them. And here's one of them, the young Senegalese. He's looking to get forward.
Oh, that was not very nice, was it?
Wagu hit the ball. His first touch was good. His second touch was really poor. And he's gone in slightly late here, you can see. And it's gone slightly over the top.
Jerry, you would well know that there's plenty of fortune attached to somebody not coming away with a serious injury for a tackle like that.
Yeah. And the referee having a quiet word with him, and I think he's right too as well.
Liverpool have suffered in pre-season in this respect as well. That could have been
nasty,
very damaging.
Yeah, it could have been, and Mario Rui was lucky. I think he knows that he's still smarting a little bit from the challenge.
Don't blame him.
I don't think he's totally over it, Paul.
Switch by Zielinski. Fabian Ruiz was tidy. Elmas again, not so tidy from there.
Well, Barcelona, they like to get the ball down and play. They're still missing their maestro, Lionel Messi. We haven't chatted about him. He came back to training on Monday, Paul, and he picked up a slight calf strain, and it's not worth taking the risk. And I was listening to Piqué's chat before the game, and he was saying that we'll miss Leo obviously, but we want him for the start of the season, and that's more important, which is correct. That's not a great pass. Lots of mistakes in the passing early on.
Mario Rui was quite keen to get up close and personal with Wague. I think he feels he owes him one just at this moment.
I know he owes him one. Lovely touch.
Suarez, super finish to decide it against Arsenal in the 90th minute the other evening from Luis Suarez.
Well, the Uruguayan's a proven goal scorer. He's shown that over the years, and 21 league goals. He finished second joint with Karim Benzema. Oh, taking a chance at the back. I don't think Carlo Ancelotti will be happy with that.
That was Manolas, and he got away with it. And here's his centre-back partner, Makasimovic. Incidentally, among the subs here for Napoli, Elsed Husai, Elmas.
I like this Macedonian. He's really sharp.
I did hear
lively.
good things about him, yes, Jerry.
Look, and you know, had the pass been better, he was in a great position in the inside left. It should have been a better pass to him. He would have, first touch would have taken him into the box, and he could have got a strike at goal. But he's looking very, very good, this young Macedonian. By the way, Mallorca just on the verge, I think, today of signing a Macedonian attacking player for the start of La Liga.
I mentioned Husai on the bench, still not certain, apparently, whether he may be moving on. There's been interest from one or two Premier League clubs. Your former club, Tottenham Hotspur, one of them, Jerry.
Well, they could do with improving the squad. They haven't really spent a lot of money on transfer players over the last 2 or 3 seasons because of the stadium. Now they're in a position that they can and should. I know they're still chasing Lo Celso from Real Betis, and I think that's been done. I think it's just about tied up, and he's a very creative midfield player who, well, obviously Pochettino knows very well.
Among the other senior players available to Ancelotti off the bench, Alan, who was a backup player for Brazil at the Copa America. David Ospina, who'll be known to so many of our viewers. Kevin Malcuit, the fullback.
Oh, a little bit lazy, the pass from Suarez to Griezmann. He was in a good position looking for the early ball, and the pass letting him down. I said that in the last 15-20 minutes. Ball has happened several times, but the players really need to get up. You know, a lot of them probably were talking about a little bit of jet lag as well. I heard that conversation between Junior Firpo, and he said, I've only just arrived in Barcelona, will have to take off and go to Miami. So sympathise with him, but you've got to get on with it.
Welcome to the big time, son.
Exactly. Well, I think he's saying he's so pleased to be in the dressing room with so many superstars, and he's just glad he's got the opportunity.
Todibo. Down the side to Perez. Perez got a couple of goals in the win against Vissel Kobe in Japan. They played 2 games, Barcelona in Japan, lost to Chelsea in Saitama, and then won 2-0 against Vissel Kobe. Suarez goes on. Oh. Everybody in the ground thought Griezmann was offside there, Jerry.
Well, he timed his run brilliant, and he does this all the time. He knows the ball's coming now. Watch. As the pass is made, you can see he's half a yard behind the last defender, and it's the one that puts his hand up because he knows he's caught out. And it was a lovely cushion ball back for Suarez to get the strike at goal, and he should have hit the target, really.
Presented straight back to Barcelona. Can't do that, as Arsenal found out to their cost in the second half. Doesn't matter who's wearing the Blaugrana jersey.
No, they've got some talent there, haven't they? This is good.
Wagay. Needed to get to that Junior Firpo, and he couldn't. Callejon strides on. Insigne went on, and Neto had to make a save. It was a very good one.
Brilliant piece of play and a brilliant save, and he wasn't offside. There was a player in the offside position. He wasn't interfering. The linesman got it spot on. Wonderful passage of play. Have a look. There he goes. Well, he might have been. It's tight. The hand goes up late, but excellent goalkeeping. Give credit to Neto there. He's made a brilliant save.
That's the sort of bewildering movement that at their best we've seen over the last 3 or 4 seasons from Callejon, Insigne and Mertens. They draw these puzzles which are so very difficult for some defenders to deal with.
Little 1-2s are always hard. Players playing up passing, moving, it's difficult to pick them up, and if you get the timing right, which they did on that occasion, usually results in a goal, and they'd be disappointed to haven't scored there, but give credit to Neto, the Brazilian goalkeeper. That's a great touch.
And again, Titi was caught out this time, and Tobido had to get across, but they've got a man over on the other side, Napoli. Mario Rui arrived, he didn't want to hit it, and that would have gone wide in the end. Neto grabbed it.
Well, first thing I can see, Paul, is this young defence is getting dragged all over the place, and they had not one but two players over on the left-hand side. Cut back, shot on target, good save in the bottom right-hand post for Neto. He's been busier of the two goalkeepers. Surprised we haven't had a goal yet.
Suarez, he was looking to see Griezmann's movement. Busquets. Maximovic saw Griezmann first time. Luis Suarez got to it. Good work again by Maximovic.
Oh. Good little turn of pace down the left-hand side from this young left-sided player, Lorenzo Insigne, who's class, isn't he? He's got all the experience in the world. And they're a really good counter-attack side, Napoli. They hold the ball up really well, but they strike very quickly on the counter-attack. And that one just overcooked a little bit. Food for thought.
Elmas. Manolas. Insigne popped up in the little hole. Mario Rui. Elmas again.
Good ball.
Mario Rui looking for a target in the penalty box. There's a good recovery by Perez. It's a corner to Napoli.
It was, but you know what? Napoli are really settling down quicker than this young Barcelona squad, and had two or three very good chances.
Neto has been busy. A two-way trade in the goalkeepers, just for the benefit maybe of some of our viewers. With Silas going one way to Valencia, Neto coming the other way. There he goes again.
Oh, he wants to play first-team football, Silasons, and he's not had much football in Barcelona with Ter Stegen, but that's going to be his problem now, because the Brazilian will play second fiddle, I think, to Ter Stegen unless there's injuries. Usually he'll get games in the cup competitions like the Copa del Rey.
Irony there, of course, at Valencia he was not playing in the cup final against Barcelona. He was on the bench, wasn't he?
That's correct. And Valencia won it.
2-1 with Domenech in goal.
He's a good keeper, Domenech, I have to say.
Bit of a struggle here for Puig.
Ricky Puig, another one of the young players coming in, 19 years old, only played twice before for the senior team.
Time for a drinks break. Approaching 25 minutes.
Ate calor.
Would there be anywhere in Spain, Jerry, that would be as humid for the players as we have it here in Miami?
They're probably used to it more in Spain, and it can get really hot. I've played in competitions in Mallorca in July and August when you're training in the Trofeo de Palma, and it does get really humid, especially at night, where you've got like 40 degrees temperature during the day, and then at night time you just sweat, and you need to drink loads and loads of water.
Plenty in the crowd working up a sweat as well. It's a brilliant atmosphere here in the Hard Rock Stadium. Best of La Liga and Serie A combining.
Well, Ernesto having a quiet word there with Junior Firpo. And Wagu is another one who's pushed forward quite a bit. They will attack. But, you know, you've got on the bench there Semedo, who at some stage will probably come on.
Jordi Alba also.
Jordi Alba's there.
They were the starting fullbacks against Arsenal. So deep is the competition though at Barcelona, Jerry. Whenever you're on the field, you have to make the most of your chance, don't you?
Totally, and you'll only get 2 or 3 opportunities to show the manager what you can do. And I remember watching Lionel Messi playing as a 17-year-old. He came off the bench, and you just knew he was special. You know, Rob Palmer and I watched that game, and we didn't know who this guy was, but boy, you know, when you've seen him running with the ball and taking people on. It's like Kubo, who plays for Real Madrid. He's low centre of gravity, great left foot, and he's having a great pre-season with Real Madrid, who are not having a great pre-season. They've conceded a lot of goals, 16 goals in 4 games, averaging 4 goals against. And they need to get it sorted out quickly. That's good skills.
In a sense, this is a sort of Barcelona B in many ways at the moment. The senior men last season, 90 La Liga goals, 99 the season before. Nobody in Spain could match that, and of course nothing in terms of a sniff really in this game so far.
Now, they won the league really comfortably, I have to say, and Atletico Madrid were their closest rivals, and I think it's going to be that way again this season. Looking at the strength and depth of Atletico Madrid, they've signed really well in the summer. Obviously there's a lot of changes, you know, when you lose your captain and Diego Godin, and he was rock solid at the back, but they've got a really good solid defence now, and I like the way they're shaping.
Busquets, one of the few remaining links, Jerry, with that glorious side you spoke about 6-7 years ago now. Wagué sits it up, but that was all merit with an easy catch.
Well, it was the pass from Busquets was angle-wise, it was good. Maybe a little bit too much pace on it for Wagué, who couldn't take a chance to take a touch. He had to head it first time, and it was too close to the goalkeeper, and an easy take for him in the end.
I think I probably love the history of Barcelona FC as much as any men alive, but at the moment, Jerry, you know, especially with Messi not involved, I just struggle to see the connection to the identity of the teams of the last 15 years that we have watched and admired. You know, thinking back to the swashbuckling, confident football that won them those 2 Champions Leagues against Manchester United at Wembley. That a sense of immortality about that performance. We're not really at that level at the moment, are we?
No, well, there's a lot of the big stars missing, but
here's one of the new boys, Perez. That's a straightforward save, and it's another wild swipe. That was worse than the earlier one.
Certainly was. Well done, Perez, coming inside on the left foot. It was an excellent piece of play and tested the goalkeeper.
Was that really Luis Suarez?
Well,
I think you'll find it was, Jerry.
He's had a swing at it, let's put it like that. It's fallen kindly for him, and he's just gone for it, and it's an awful effort. It really is. Timing's well off. That's a good strike. Goalkeeper pushed it. He should push it round the post for me, but he pushed it back in the danger area, which is not a good piece of goalkeeping for me. But not a good finish from Luis Suarez. And my favourite player for Barcelona has already gone, Andres Iniesta. He was a real magician. Loved watching him play every week. And you know, when you haven't got Messi on the pitch, he's just unbelievable. He's the best I've seen over the last 20 years.
That's where the standard is set, though. I'm sticking with Xavi, incidentally.
Xavi was class, and he retired long before Andres Iniesta. But that was some midfield. They controlled everything. I remember them playing Manchester United.
Perez found a little bit of room again. Here's Wagué. Crowd got excited, but it wasn't a tester for Napoli.
Well, Rakitic got himself in the box and he got a head on it, but couldn't direct it on target. And it's a spluttering Barcelona we're watching at the moment. Left foot, Wagué, and not a great header from Rakitic.
tried to force it, tried to create something.
Well, the goalkeepers keep in possession now. They want to play from the back and play their way out, which is admirable, but if you lose possession in your own defensive third, it can be a problem.
In this game, perhaps it's fair comment to say Napoli have been more true to their style of play. The front three have been very lively. The interchange threatening again. Ruiz. Callejon's in. Must be. Oh, it's steered around the post rather than in by Mertens. Another great example of what this trio for Napoli can produce up there, but he couldn't finish it off.
Well, it should have been a goal, and maybe the cross was a little bit too strong. As you can see, he's onside. Callejon sticks it across the danger area, and it's disappointing in the end.
It's a beautiful cross by Callejon, isn't it?
Oh, he should have scored for me. Mertens, you know, when he sees that, he'll be disappointed. It's as if he sort of didn't check his stride properly and should have got a left foot onto it.
Big let off for Barca there.
They've had 2 or 3 now, to be fair, and certainly for me, the busier of the two goalkeepers has been Neto.
And by Puig, as they try to pick it up. Luis Suarez looking for Griezmann.
Wow, almost a lovely combination there. The timing of the run from Griezmann looked good. The first time ball, too much pace on it. No, he's offside. He is offside. And he probably would have been called offside, but that's the first sort of combination we've seen between that two.
Could I just check, Jerry, are we giving offsides tonight or not?
Well, there was a half a yard in that one. It's probably tight for a linesman to call. I've seen a couple now that have been debatable.
It's the kind of practice match you used to love, isn't it? Where we don't have offsides today, boys.
Yeah, but the challenges were a lot stronger, I have to tell you. In any practice match I played in, there was a lot of total commitment. Now, let's see what we've got on the left side.
Firpo gives it to Griezmann rather than take it on himself. Puig. Rakitic had a little look for Suarez, who turns. That's nice. Better from Barca until that point. Well, maybe he should have got out of the way and left it there to Griezmann.
Well, he got forward, Firpo. Yeah, he did. And Busquets, again, arguing with the referee. He has a problem. What's the problem? Well, I can see what the problem is. He doesn't really have the ball under control, and he wins it with his left foot, and the player falls over his leg. So it's a little bit of a soft free kick. I'm inclined to agree with Gerard Piqué. Or sorry, Sergio Busquets. Gerard Piqué, I was chatting to at the start of the game, and no doubt he'll probably play at some stage in the second half.
Short and simple by Maksimovic. Manolas. Fabian Ruiz. Callejon goes again. Nice little triangle down that right side from Napoli. And another good forward run by Di Lorenzo, the young right back. Here's the left back, Mario Rui. He kept it simple. Insigne, promising moments for Napoli. Callejon off his side. Mertens. Oh. Great move, no end product.
Oh, listen, Paul, some of the football's great there. You know, the passing's excellent, and they're missing out players who look offside, and the players arriving, and you can see he's arriving here at the far post. Callejon, he's not offside, and then he cushions it into the 6-yard box looking for Mertens. He can't apply the finish, but there is some really good football there.
At times last season it did appear that Ancelotti was just trying to evolve Napoli away from the style which served them so well under Sarri, and got really going all the way back to Mazzarri and the team that Walter Mazzarri built. but this is very much back to the Napoli style that, of course, seemed so very close to dislodging Juve the season before last. And again, here we go with Callejon, and look at the other two on the move. Ruiz is joining in. Todibo, steady. Callejon's a bit disappointed with himself that time.
He's got loads of space. I'll have to say, Junior Firpo's been caught out 3 or 4 times already in the first half and shows his lack of experience. And on the right hand side, Wage as well. He's been caught out. Both the full-backs had pushed forward at the same time, and it was a 3 against 2.
Were you surprised when Barcelona decided to go for Junior Firpo from Real Betis?
Well, I'm looking at him for the future, because Jordi Alba has had injuries and he misses at least 12, 14 games a season now, especially when you've got Champions League and Copa del Rey. You need to have strength and depth, so they picked a player who they think can develop to be a cracking player for the future, and that's obviously why they bought him.
Only really got 2 La Liga seasons under his belt. Here he is again, 22 appearances last season. No way through for Puig.
Oh, that's a poor ball.
Not been his best 40-odd minutes, Busquets.
No, he doesn't normally give passes like that away. You'd have to see 10 games for to see him give a pass like that away. And as I say, he hasn't really got started. I don't know if it's a travelling or what, but it's not the Barcelona of old we're watching at the moment.
In this format, it's an aggregate score, as though it was a European club meeting between these two in a knockout game. The 2 legs combined. The initiative by La Liga and Serie A to showcase both of these leagues. Rakitic easily robbed. Elmas came away with it and goes again into opposition territory, all alone at the moment. Rakitic, oh, not only did he chase him back, but he put the youngster in his place, Jerry, by pushing it through his legs then.
I still like what I see from Elmas, because he does have good energy. He's running with the ball very well. He has his head up all the time. He's looking for passes. He's very intelligent for a 19-year-old. He looks like he could be a very promising player.
Wage, Suarez. Wage shows some enterprise from right back. Well, the crowd got excited. Merritt just left it.
Well, it wasn't bad, I have to say. He's played the 1-2. He didn't have any other options. There was no support there. Bit of showboating. That's the nutmegs and Busquets and co.
As if to say to the young player, you're doing well, son, but don't push it.
Yeah. Oh, here's another opportunity.
Firpo tries to push it. Puig, Busquets, and he finds the bottom corner, and Barcelona lead. Merritt couldn't keep it out.
He doesn't score many goals, Sergio Busquets, but he is, without a doubt, one of the best passers of a football in world football. And when he gets the ball on the edge of the D, he's not thinking about shooting, he's thinking about passing it into the back of the net, and he finds the bottom right-hand corner. That's what he does. And again, you don't leave him totally unmarked, and he just picks his spot. You'll see it better from this angle. Have a look at that. He curls it just out of the reach of the goalkeeper and inside the far post. Great goal.
A collector's item, really, Jerry. No La Liga goals last season, won the season before, and all the way back to 2014-15 for the only other La Liga goal we can find.
Well, that's why I say he doesn't score many goals, but when they do come, they're very good goals, and he is excellent.
Forget this match 1 goal, this season 1 goal.
Maybe that's the start he needed for the beginning of the season. It might kick off and he might get a few more goals, but his job for Barcelona is anchorman in midfield, to sit in front of the 2 centre halves and control the play and the pace of the play. And Sergio Roberto, who normally plays at right back, or Semedo, they'll be the 2 who are very accomplished players. You know, Sergio Roberto is a Spanish international who is more of a midfield player, but he's played for the last 3 or 4 seasons as a right back. and he replaced Danny Alves, and he's done a really good job there. So he'll end up playing the majority, I think, of games at right back, and he's quality on the ball.
Manolas. Zielinski. Insigne's in. That was a good, excellent block.
Well, where was Wage? I have to ask the question. It's happened 2 or 3 times. And camera's going to, because he should not. Insigne is a class player. How can he get that amount of space? And what's happening is he's coming over to cover the 2 centre halves too much. He shouldn't be that tight to the centre half. He's got to get over there and press quicker. Actually,
Todibo did brilliantly, didn't he?
Todibo comes from further away to close down and get the block in. Todibo's done really well. Another one who's only got 2 games experience. Young 19-year-old.
Ruiz. Todibo again covering him behind Wage. Insigne, Callejon goes. Firpo nearly got caught out. He did get caught out. Oh, it's 1-1. There's a little touch from a Barca man, but it's a classic Napoli leveller.
Well, do you know what? Callejon has been absolutely brilliant on that right-hand side, and they did deserve a goal. They probably should have scored first, and it will be an own goal, I'm sure. But listen, Napoli are very worthy of that equaliser. Excellent build-up, and this time they get a bit of good fortune. Jose Callejon times his run. Look at that. And the first touch, brilliant. Coming inside, opens the angle up, and then the defender.
Umtiti
It is Umtiti who inadvertently puts it into his own goal. I think it was going in anyway, though, Paul, to be honest.
Yes, I think they may well have done. What's not really in any doubt is that Napoli deserve to be on level terms here.
Oh, absolutely. If anything, they probably had more chances. So 1 apiece. And we said earlier, surprised there hasn't been any goals yet. And now, like a bus, you know, you wait one for ages and then 2 come along at the same time.
I think the Barcelona supporters are in the majority here in Miami, and they've gone a little quiet suddenly.
Well, it hasn't been a vintage Barcelona display so far, but we're finding out a lot of things about the young players who have come in, and that's the most important thing, I think, from Ernesto Valverde's point of view.
Definitely, Jerry, yeah.
And I would say at least half of these players won't play the opening game of the season.
Well, they've got to earn their right, haven't they? And they're at the start of their careers in many cases, and it won't be easy.
Yeah. Interesting what Gerard Piqué was saying at the start about Philippe Coutinho and about his move, which looks as if it's going to happen. And he said that's obviously a personal thing for Philippe Coutinho, and he wishes him well, whether he stays or goes.
Not quite as on-off as the Gareth Bale saga around Madrid, but we've waited a long time for any firm news about Coutinho.
Well, it's been adamant for the last 4 or 5 days that James Rodriguez, Mariano and Gareth Bale are not included in anything that Zinedine Zidane has planned for next season, and that's been very, very evident. Oh, what's for
Titi again. Wow. I'm not sure how good a shot that ultimately was from Fabian Ruiz. It's a fairly straightforward stop for Neto.
I'm watching Titi and he's having a shot at somebody else, but he's the one that's giving the ball away. He can't blame anyone else other than himself, and the keeper's peeled him out there.
Barca a bit fortunate.
Oh, we're nearly 45 minutes, Paul, and I have to say this Napoli attacking third has looked a lot more potent than Barcelona. They really have. They might just nick another one before the whistle goes.
Di Lorenzo. Callejon outside him. Todibo again gets in the right place. He at least is switched on back there.
He hasn't done too bad, I have to say, but some of the more senior players like Tite and obviously I know Busquets scored the goal, but he made an awful lot of mistakes in the game. So as I say, it's not been a classic Barcelona performance by any means. I think Napoli have been the better side in the first half. He'd be happy, I'm sure.
Puig. Suarez gets to it. Carlos Perez made a move toward the penalty spot. Suarez in the end went on his own.
It's funny when you don't have Messi, you don't have the movement, you don't have the passing, you don't have the confidence. And it's just another one of those. Look, there's 1, 2, 3 Napoli players all queuing up to make the challenge, and he hasn't got the guy, Luis Suarez, to do the things that Messi would do, or Jordi Alba down that left-hand side, who gets to the byline and cuts it back.
So Busquets gave Barcelona the lead against the run of play. Busquets not at his normal level, and the last touch for Umtiti after Callejon weaved his way in there for a very well-merited leveller for Napoli. Napoli, I don't think there's any doubt, have been the better side here. True to their traditional style and very easy on the eye it has been. It's 1-1.
Looks like some of the young lads are going to be coming out the second half. I wonder, are they going to make any changes?
May leave it.
Yeah, he may leave
10,
it.
15
right.
minutes. I think that actually tells a story. I think that says Valverde has told them, we're Barcelona and that's not good enough, and you will not get many chances to put it right.
Well, he said what he had to say at half-time. Let's see, does it have an effect on them, because they've got to play better than that. They need to perform much better than that. And as I said, but the other thing is it's over 2 legs, Paul, as well, so he may have a game plan. His most important game is the first game of the season against Athletic Bilbao and San Mamés.
Poor Umtiti got there as quickly as he could, but he did steer home Callejon's effort to make it 1-1.
It looks like it was possibly going in anyway, Paul, but it wasn't a great performance from the back four, I have to say. Umtiti and the 2 full-backs, both of them, Firpo and Wagué, both struggled. Todibo didn't do bad for me. Of the centre halves, I thought Todibo did quite well.
Don't think we're going to see Luis Suarez in the second half. Maybe not Griezmann either.
Nope.
One eye on that La Liga opener, surely, as Jerry mentioned. So here we go. Abel Ruiz has gone in up front for Barca. Just 19 years. Came off the bench late in the season in the 2-0 win at home to Getafe. And Rafinha is the other player who's come on. He also came on against Arsenal and really put himself about in the middle of the park, actually.
He's got a great left foot, Rafinha. I have to say, he's decent. Oh, cool fly. Oh, grip. Oh.
Wagué sliding in again, as he did early in the first half.
He's very robust, and the referee going to have a word with him.
You know, he caught Mario Rui again.
Yeah.
Yellow carded this time. I thought the first one should have been a yellow, Jerry, just to calm him down.
Yeah, but see when he goes in, he comes in and it's his trailing leg I think he catches him with. This left foot.
Tell us, Jerry, in your opinion, was that worse or not as bad as the first challenge?
I think he got booked because he's made two similar challenges, and that's why he's got the yellow card. But you know, he's a committed player. He's one of those players it's about his energy, and he can't help himself in terms of when he goes in to win the ball, he's going to win it 100%. And his commitment, I love that type of commitment from a player. But that was maybe 10 or 15 years ago. You would have got away with that, but not now. You know, not in these circumstances.
Todibo, picked up by Rafinha. Perez very, very quiet in that first half. Needs to get more involved.
He had one shot when he came inside from the right hand side on his left foot, and it was a decent effort on target. But I agree, he hasn't done enough in the first half. And as I say, it's a showcase. They've got to really show what they can do. That was a particularly good ball from Rafinha. Oh, good skills.
He's been fairly cool, the new man at right back, young Di Lorenzo, for Napoli tonight.
Slight deflection from that shot from Rakitic, which took a lot of the sting out of the shot, and it went on target.
Di Lorenzo actually was promoted with Empoli, and that really brought him into prominence in Italy, and then he followed up in his first Serie A season, missed only one game, and scored 5 goals for them.
Well, fullbacks that score you goals are worth a lot,
as João Cancelo has proven today.
Yeah. Well, they've been looking for a replacement for Dani Alves for a long, long time. I'm not convinced Semedo is that replacement, and he's now made a challenge which he was offside, and once he does that, the linesman's flag is going to go up.
They'd never admit it, but like Barcelona watch what goes on at Real Madrid at the moment, I think Napoli watch every move in and out at Juventus, hoping that it might tilt the scales a little bit in their favour for next season, but they've got a fair amount of ground to make up, just as Real have on Barca at the moment. Here's Perez, got away from Callejon. It's a good looking ball. Maximovic was cool, but there's a time for Wage to line it up on the edge of the box. Rakitic. Rafinha. Ruiz. That was a nice idea. Rafinha just couldn't see it coming his way.
Oh, it was on his left foot as well. He should have done better.
Napoli looked to break quickly. Here we go. Mertens. Goalkeeper's got to get there. Neto did well. Very well.
Well, he's been their best player for me in the first half, Neto. He's made some great saves outside the penalty area. He's keeper sweeper here. He sees that he's onside, and he's read it very well. He's got out
just ahead of Zielinski.
Well, he had to get there because it would have been a tap-in. But still, mistakes being made by Barcelona, lots of them. And when you make mistakes, opportunities will arise. But can they take the opportunities? Napoli, they missed quite a few good opportunities in the first half. Well, you were quite happy to keep possession of the ball and drag Barcelona out of position.
Fabian Ruiz. Blue jerseys buzzing everywhere again. Given away again by Barca. Fabian Ruiz, nice reverse. Just a little bit of showboating by Insigne, and Neto gives him a look and says, I'm a bit better than that, son. You'll have to do better to beat me.
Well, he looked as if he was coming out Neto, advancing from his line, and Insigne has a look here, and then he backpedals, and he just takes a little step back, and it's gone over the crossbar anyway. But it was a cheeky attempt, wasn't it, from Insigne?
Nice
Very
smile
cheeky
by Neto. Busquets. Crowd telling us somebody was on his back. Found the range that time. Perez. Into the box he goes. Superbly. And twice over merit gets in to deny Abel Ruiz.
Excellent play. Do you know what? That's more like it. It's flowing, it's counter-attack, it's quick. Some really good passing. And Ruiz does brilliant. Look, he gets a half a yard in front of the defender, hits the target once and twice. Excellent piece of play, and that's probably one of the best passages of play. Carlos Perez plays a big part as well down the left-hand side, Paul. Excellent ball in. No, it's good goalkeeping. Credit to the goalkeeper, Merit.
Well, that did look like a young player, Jerry, who wants to seize his opportunity. And yet, look at the ridiculous level of competition in his way. Griezmann, Suarez, Messi and co. But other young players have not risen to the occasion. He seems determined to do so.
That won't do any harm there. This is Jose Callejon.
Didn't try to lob the goalkeeper that time, did he? But not quite from the direct approach from Insigne either.
Early cross as well from Callejon. He could see Insigne arriving on the edge of the box, and again doesn't hit the target.
10 Serie A goals from Insigne last season. Not quite at the level of 16-17 when he got 18. But a quality player in every sense. Great career. And still very important player for Italy.
Absolutely.
Point. Wage. Forward move by Rafinha again. Rakitic. Here is Rafinha. Wage high, wide and none too handsome.
Angle was tight for Wage, to be fair. He might have been offside. You can see here Busquets finds the pass. Sorry, Rakitic finds the pass. Rafinha's shot's partially blocked. That's a tight decision. And he doesn't hit the target.
Miss hit. Could be costly by Manolas. Rafinha onto it. Another miss hit by Manolas. They're going to pay surely, or they get away with it, Napoli. What an embarrassing passage of play for the 36 million defender Manolas.
Well, the mistakes are being made this half by Napoli, and Barcelona are playing much better, and the young players are playing better. That's a terrible pass. It's not a great ball, but they can't give the ball away like that, and Rafinha's got to do better than that for me. He's made a difference since he came on, Rafinha. He's certainly a lot more energy coming from him, and he's more determined.
Here come Barca from the short corner. Rakitic. Puig. Wage to Rafinha. That's a bit more like it. Ball moving around a bit quicker for Barcelona. Rakitic has gone up a gear. He hits this one himself. That wasn't missing by much.
This is more like vintage Barcelona, controlling the game. They're passing the movements much better. You made a good comment, Paul, about the half-time talk in the dressing room, and Valverde certainly has said something, because they're playing much better. Should hit the target, Rakitic, though, shouldn't he?
bit more pressure being applied to Elmas in the middle of the field and Zielinski than in the first half.
It wasn't a great ball from, wasn't it? It was a 50-50. But it's caught.
Jerry, you think back to the first 20 minutes, Elmas was running the show.
He was.
It's different now, isn't it?
That's because Barcelona woke up. And it was a 50-50, and he's got caught, I think, on his left ankle. A challenge from Rakitic. He's wrapped his foot around. He certainly made some sort of contact. I think he's coming. Who's going off? Is it Mertens? Yeah, I think it is Mertens coming off.
Well spotted, Jerry. One of those coming on here is Gianluca Gaetano. He's only 19 years of age. He's a proper Napoli boy, born in the city. Busquets with a problem for Barca.
They're not going to take a risk on him if there's a problem.
Absolutely, Jerry.
You can't take a risk.
Way too valuable.
Totally. Is Elmas going to have to come off as well? Still limping.
Sad if true, because he made a big impression in the first half.
He did, but he's finding it tougher in the second half because Barcelona's up to one or two gears. That's the challenge coming in. Now it is Busquets. I think he's injured himself in the challenge, as well as Elmas.
With 9 men on the field at the moment, and they've been brought. Oh, Napoli. That shaved the post. Well, what the new man actually is his first involvement. Milik straight on the field, straight down the middle. That's his first touch, Jerry. He nearly scored.
Well, on his left-hand side, he's timed his run really well, but he hasn't hit the target. One thing you're told, if you're going to miss it at the far post, but he does really need to hit the target there for me. And they missed a lot of chances in the first half, and Milik may not get a better chance than that.
So our attention was drawn to the injury concern for Elmas and Busquets, but here's a summary of the changes. 4 in total. Callejon and Manolas make that 5 changes by Napoli, all in a bunch. Gula, Milik, Gaetano, Verdi and Luperto have all come on. All 5 in one fell swoop by Ancelotti.
He needed to ring the changes because it wasn't a good performance in that opening 10-15 minutes. He decided, I'm going to change it now.
Wasn't a lot the goalkeeper would do with that one.
Looked like they were still trying to play their way out from the back, and Meritz was looking for a pass.
To Debo.
He shows confidence, doesn't he? Look at this.
Well, the way's parted for him. Helped on by Puig. Getting more involved. Here's Rafinha. It's much better, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Perez and Puig, who were anonymous in the first period.
Absolutely. And what about Debo? A fantastic run, as I say. His strength and determination got him into the right area. He continued to run, but then the shot from Rafinha was disappointing after a really good build-up.
Suddenly it's Barcelona really exerting their authority on proceedings here.
Perez to take it. Rafinha's playing at the moment like a man who's pretty fed up of being a backup player, Jerry, and he wants to assert himself. No, he's a very good squad player. He has got great ability. He's played a lot more football, you can see, than some of the other young lads who only had 2 or 3 games. Rafinha There's a bit of class, I think, but he hasn't hit the target enough in the 2 opportunities he's had in the second half. Should have done better.
Napoli with a lot of defending to do now.
Rakitic, lack of concentration, Paul.
There's his mistake for the season. Gulam came on for Mario Rui, incidentally. Rui took 1 or 2 fairly severe blows. Verdi. And Milik, it was given offside. Arkadiusz Milik, different style of frontman, isn't he, Jerry? Completely to the trio of Callejon, Insigne and Mertens. But he got 17 Serie A goals in what was his second season at Napoli. That is very
impressive.
Good.
That's very impressive. And he's not a small player. He's a big player, but his movement was good. He timed his run on the offside there really well, I thought.
And so they have Verdi playing just off him now. Verdi, a player, it's got to happen at Napoli because everybody in Italy's been waiting for him really to become a top-line performer for, what, 5 years and more now. He's had 2 goes at it in Milan and Bologna. Better little spell for Napoli suddenly. Callejon. Verdi on the move. Milik showed him where he wanted it. So it's a completely different proposition to defend against this style, isn't it, if you're Barcelona, Jerry, suddenly?
It is, but the fresh players coming on has given them a little bit of a boost, and they've got renewed energy, but they've got to start passing the ball a little bit better. Some of it's sloppy.
Got to be a foul, hasn't it?
Look, the foul all day long, but you know what? He's done so well to come out with the ball. And here's Rafinha again, who's been at the heart of everything. Oh, this is good.
Much improved in the second half, Puig. That was not a great ball from him, however, to Perez. Gets another go at it. Good game, isn't it?
It's been a much better game than the second half with the fresh players coming on, and Barcelona doing the normal, which is their passing is usually very good. And Rakitic on the ball, looking for an opportunity to try and pass it forward. That's not a great ball. But Ricky Puig has done really well second half, much better than the first half for me. That's a poor pass.
Busquets was onto it quickly. Rafinha looks for a free kick and gets it. Rafinha got a knock a couple of minutes ago. I think he's still feeling it here.
He's got surrounded very quickly here, and that's a straight down the back of his Achilles there. That was not a clever piece of play. Gaetano didn't do an awful lot. Another substitution. It's for Barcelona this time. Well, they're rigging the changes, aren't they? And Frankie de Jong,
along with Dembele, Nelson Semedo and Piqué.
Well, this is more of an experienced side coming in now. They're going to get the last 25 minutes of the game, and this is going to be closer to the first team that kicks off the season Friday week.
So the 75 million purchase from Ajax. De Jong. Semedo's going to come on and play it right back clearly.
PK is going to go in for Todibo. I think we called that one, didn't we, in the first half? No surprise.
Rakitic and Rafinha lining this free kick up.
I feel it's the right foot.
Rakitic it is.
Well, usually when the goal is covered by the wall on that right-hand side of the goal, it's the right foot that curls it over the top of the goal. He tries to curl it round it and it doesn't hit the target. That's a disappointing free kick from Rakitic.
Callejon. Barcelona a bit stretched. Nelson Semedo has to cover. Just run away a little bit from Insigne. De Jong. What a war he gets. Dembele outside him. Made some room to have a shot, which he does. He hits the post. There's a great effort from Dembele. Merit beaten, all ends up.
Well, there's the class you're talking about. Two class players, De Beek and Dembele combined, and that's what Barcelona can bring on. Wow.
Mighty, mighty close.
It's been Barcelona's half, the second half for me. And they've got more full strength side out and they look class at the minute now.
PK keeps the tempo upbeat. Rolling Stones come here in a couple of weeks. A bit like the warm-up, and then the band really started to play. Start me up, Jerry. Start me up.
It's like the Rolling Stones going on stage without Mick Jagger, and then the second half they bring him on. But they put some class players on now, and it's more a formidable Barcelona side. And here's a chance through the middle.
It's Milik. Surely he's going to take it on himself. He does! Oh, it's a brilliant stop by Neto.
That's class. That is class, I have to say. Milik has done everything right. But what a save. That's the best save of the game for me. It's almost past him. He collapses so quickly. This is the shot from earlier from Dembele. What a great shot off the post.
On we go, end to end. And Neto grabs that one from Insigne.
Well, Gerard Piqué, he's sort of still in second gear for me. But that was a mistake earlier there, once again from Umtiti. And allowed Milik to get in on the left-hand side and get the cracking shot off.
Forward move was made by De Jong and it emptied that space. Here's Dembele. Goes again, Dembele. Forceful from Milik.
I think it was a flailing hand, came back. Now hard, much of it hit Umtiti, and there's a yellow card. Sometimes it's an accident when players are running away, and I think that's the case there. Milik is saying, look, I'm running away. Well, the hand comes back. I think he's holding him off rather than throwing it back. The referee sees that.
You see, the other thing there is from the other angle, Jerry. Umtiti has a grab at the shirt.
Yeah, but you know what? Umtiti's gone down far too easy for me. He's the centre half. You know, when you feel a hand coming around your face, you don't collapse like that. And that's what we see in the modern game. Players go down too readily for me.
A very upbeat second half here in the Hard Rock Stadium. Could go either way. Rakitic, again a forward move by De Jong.
Good ball.
Down the side to Nelson Semedo. Rafinha. Rakitic with room. De Jong, it's actually aimed at Abba Ruiz. Was a very good run by De Jong again.
Yeah, but both players went to the near post. I'd like to see one of them hug the far post. Would have given more of a problem. And Rakitic disappointed with the final ball. But Barcelona certainly in the up in the second half. They've dominated the second half more for me. And we get a chance to see some of the new signings as well.
Second drinks break now. This is the opener for Busquets, steered beautifully into the corner, away from Meret. Not quite certain that Barcelona merited being in front, if you'll pardon the appalling pun, but they took it, and they didn't last long in the lead. Napoli with a deserved leveller. Callejon at the top of your screen there, cutting in and cutting round Firpo. Umtiti did the rest. Quite a few near things at either end in this second half, but it's still all to be won and lost. And remember again, this is the first of leg of 2 in this meeting of La Liga and Serie A.
It's very entertaining, Paul, though, I have to
really
say,
good.
really entertaining.
Here's Goulam. Another of the old stalwarts at Napoli, of course, Raul Albiol moved back to Spain, didn't he, in the summer, Jerry? He's going to play for Villarreal.
Yep. Villarreal play some really good football. It's a club just outside Valencia.
Former Valencia keeper, Neto. Zielinski. That was better by Piqué. De Jong. Looks to have been given a bit more of a licence to go forward tonight by Valverde, Jerry. He just sat against Arsenal quite a lot.
Well, I think he's going to grow in confidence, and he's going to know what his teammates are all about, and he'll find that out in training. So it's a process of give him 2 or 3 weeks to settle down, and 3 or 4 games to settle down, and we'll see the class that De Jong has. But if you're an Ajax fan, how do you replace him?
Absolutely, that's the key issue. Brazil and Peru set to meet in an international here on September the 10th.
Oh, look at this.
Here's Dembele of France. All the way to the edge of the box. Edged off it. Rakitic. Junior Firpo was free. Never got the ball.
He was the better pass for me.
Milik. Insigne. Here's Goulam. Great ball, Milik. How does he miss that? A centre forward like that, 17 Serie A goals last season. All he has to do is head it.
That's a bit of showboating from me. Heading it into the back of the net was too easy for him. In it comes, and he just tries to chest it in. That's ridiculous. Fabulous ball from Goulam, and he should have done better. It should have been 2-1 to Napoli. Carlo Ancelotti will not be a happy man, believe you me. I don't know why he's smiling.
That's embarrassing for a professional footballer, Jerry. I'm sorry.
Awful. He had the ball in the back of the net. He's a yard from goal. Neto should have been beaten.
vaguely disrespectful of Barcelona, to be honest with you. But you know, if you're 4 or 5-1 up, maybe you could understand it. But otherwise, come on.
I seen something similar for Spain a few months ago, and it was Rodrigo who plays for Valencia, and he was playing at the far post. The ball comes in, and he tried to let it hit his back to cushion in front of his teammate, and it was disgraceful. That was an international match.
That's fearful.
He's come in with his left foot and blocked it, but the reaction again of the players, and that's why he's going to end up getting booked for that.
It's on Verdi.
Did you see Verdi had a little look over his right shoulder, knew he was coming, and played the game really well. I don't think there was that much contact, but he knew he was going to get the free kick, and he got him a yellow card as well.
Outside Husai has come on for Napoli. Again, talk that Husai might be on the move, potentially to the Premier League. And Titi. Suddenly the pace drops, but it's been really frantic here in the second half.
There's a lot more calculation going on and more definitive in terms of keeping the ball and looking for the right pass. They're not gambling as much, but then you've got more experienced players on the park.
Dembele. Here's De Jong. That's a great little ball. Dembele. Not bad from him either. Here's Ruiz. Nice touches. Shot a little bit too slow, but not that one, and it's crashed into the net to give Barca a 2-1 lead, and Rakitic was the man.
Well, you think of the shots in the first half from Luis Suarez on the edge of the box, but look at the finish here from Rakitic. Knee over the top of the ball, which means it's not going to go high, and it was a definitive, a really great professional strike. And Barcelona have merited a second goal in the second half. But now the big question is, what about Milik's effort? And that's going to be brought up at the end of the game. If they lose this 2-1, they'll be saying, why didn't you hit that ball in the back of the net? That's a great strike. And well deserved. And Ruiz has had the shot. Look at that composure and the half volley. And the strike is just so clean. And he doesn't score simple goals. He only scores cracking goals, doesn't he, Rakitic?
A new contract to keep him at Barcelona, such an important part of the fabric of the club.
Ivan is the man. So important. Well, if they're going to save it, it's 10 minutes left, Paul, and they have shown they've got the quality, especially down that left-hand side. That super piece of play, the cross, should have been buried in the back of the net by Milik, that man.
In by Goulam. That's Piqué's head. It's corner to Napoli.
He's done himself no harm, Neto, today. He's played very, very well.
Much more assured than he was the other night, Jerry. And it was ter Stegen brought on at half-time. 3 or 4 really good stops by Neto tonight. Rafinha. Drops for Dembele, and here he goes. They're going to try and rugby tackle him. Now, is that red or yellow in your opinion?
It's got to be a red card. It's gone through, and the referee gives him a yellow, and I can't believe that. It should have been a red card.
Very, very, very fortunate.
Going for goal, first touch round the last defender. Have a look. There's nobody else behind him. He's going straight for goal, and he pulls him back. None of these other defenders can get in and help, so he knows he has to pull him back. It's disappointing, but that's part of the professional game. And he's lucky it's a yellow. It should have been a red for me. They're asking the question, Busquets, Ivan Rakitic, they're asking the referee, why is it not a red card? And he's saying, oh, there was 2 other players, but the other 2 players were not in a position that they could have intercepted the ball. They were too far away from the play, and the referee, for me, has got it wrong. He's looked good since he came on, Dembele, hasn't he? He's really impressed.
Very much so, yeah. Firpo forced back.
Shows some good touches, Rafinha. Got a sweet left foot.
Gaetano gets away with that one. Switch by Busquets. Dembele again. He's really in the mood at the moment.
He's too quick for them, and they know it. They can't afford to give him a yard.
That's a bit risky. All's well that ends well. Maximovic. De Jong wins it back well. So much more like Barcelona here in the second period. Rafinha's been very, very good. Dembele looks to have a goal in him tonight.
I only seen Dembele getting better. Paul, he's class. And he's settling in nicely now at Barcelona. Well, he was offside and he knew it. The pass was made and he didn't even make an attempt to go for it because he was already a yard off. Now watch this touch round him. None of the other 2 blue shirts can do anything. They're not in a position that they can help the last defender out. And he has to pull him back.
Rafinha again. That just a bit too short for Dembele. Zielinski behind Insigne, but it dropped for him nonetheless off Nelson Semedo. Now Milik, got to make amends here. Milik steering away from Piqué. Neto sharp again.
Wow. Well, look at it, end to end, Paul.
Dembele goes again. Ruiz is up there with him. Still Dembele.
Oh my goodness, he's done everything right except hit the target. Shaped to go inside and brought 2 defenders one way, goes outside on his left foot and misses the target by a mile.
Somebody in the crowd here makes an unbelievable catch, Jerry. Just there.
An ex-goalkeeper possibly. Unbelievable stuff end to end, and really good play, and it could go still down to the wire because although Barcelona's 2-1 up, Napoli have had a couple of chances.
Space here. Callejon with the pullback, and it's driven wide by Insigne. They read each other so well. Insigne's just not had one of his best nights. He's so annoyed with himself.
Well, you can see why. He is a class player, and it's a great ball in. Insigne coming on the edge of the D. It's cut back to him, and he doesn't hit the target. He pulls the shot wide, and he's better than that. We know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's poor finishing from him. On another night, he could have had a couple of goals.
But you think back to that one that Mertens had, Jerry. You know, on another night, early on, that chance, Mertens just puts that in the net. Same there with Insigne.
Totally, but I'm looking at the Milik. That's the best chance of the night. That's a tap-in. That's a header in the back of the net. And that's going to be an inquest at the very end.
One or two of the captains you played for, oh dear me, if you walk back in having done that.
Well, Pat Rice at Watford and certainly Steve Perryman at Tottenham, they would have had an absolute fit. Well, the old airs are going up, and that's what I'm saying. This Barcelona side passed the ball very well, and they love to dominate possession and force mistakes from the opposition. Oh, it's a poor challenge.
That's the frustration now creeping in, isn't it, for Callejon?
Well, he's come in, and he was a little bit late, to be fair, but
he doesn't really know how to foul anybody, does he, Jerry?
No, he's just hit his standing leg on Firpo, and he's always going to go down. They've chased shadows most of the second half. And he's a player who needs the ball to show what he can do, and he hasn't been able to do that too much in the second half.
See, Jerry, you know, the prestige worldwide of Barcelona, it was a simply unacceptable level of performance, really, wasn't it, in the first period?
It was, and to be fair, the players who played poorly in the first half, the first 15 minutes of the second half, they responded to, obviously, what Valverde had said. And then they brought on the more experienced players, and we saw, well, class. You know, Dembele has shown us what he can do, and he is top class. And Piqué slotted in at centre half, and it's been a great performance from Barcelona in the second half.
Ruiz. Rafinha again getting into a forward area. Nelson Semedo kept going as well. Rafinha just going for everything in there.
And they're winning all the ball back again. Barcelona's first to every breaking ball. And you can see Napoli are second best at this moment in time. And they've only 2 minutes to save it. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen for them. Verde makes another foul.
By Dembele, De Jong. That was good.
Well, it's one touch and two touch play, and Barcelona keep possession and frustrate the opposition and make them work. And that's what they do. That's what they're very good at. There's a chance on now. Look at this, Dembele.
It's really good stuff from Barcelona here as they seek to close out the show. Dembele.
Paul, he's done everything but score, and you can see from behind the ball the shape there. He was trying to curl it in. He's so unfortunate he hasn't got a goal, but it's brilliant play. And he can open his body up, and he's trying to curl it in the far post. He's so close. Was it 2-3 inches past the post?
Ruiz wriggles free. Hits it straight at the keeper.
He worked hard there, Ruiz, for that.
Husai. Gulam. Cut out by Rakitic.
Oh, it's a poor challenge.
Gulam following up.
Following through. I think following up and following through,
well
Gulam. And Rafinha, he's controlled the ball. He just goes straight through the back of him.
(26) now, Rafinha. Only 3 La Liga starts last season. After that spell on loan at Inter. I suppose he could become the new Vidal for Barca, that kind of player, Jerry, do you think?
Vidal, I'm not sure he's going to be a Vidal, but he has that ability in him, and it's a question of whether he can rise to the challenge. But I see that it's the work ethic that I've seen in Barcelona in the second half. They've not just got the quality, but they've worked hard as well.
Last chance now for Napoli, I think. Here's Verdi, takes it on himself. And Insigne is asking politely whether he might have considered the other options.
Well, he was going for glory, Verdi. He's coming inside on his left foot, and it was straight down the throat of the goalkeeper.
And it was very much the last moment of opportunity for Napoli. Barcelona have won it. A massive improvement in the level of their performance here in the second period in Miami. Much more like it, and it just all got away from Ancelotti's men. Napoli were excellent in the first half. But it is Barcelona who take the spoils here. It's only part one of this La Liga.